Hello everyone. Today I am going to do another unboxing, but this one is a little special because this is something that we made. This is from the demake that we made for Squid Game, an actual playable demake. So check it out on the main channel. You can also check it out in the description if you want to. And I'm going to show you the box that you can actually download yourself and print. You can completely play the game on an original Game Boy if you want to. You can play it on an emulator. You can even play it in your web browser, and you can download it for free with a link in the description. So that's really good. But this is a box that we made ourselves. Again, you can print it. We folded it ourselves. Right now, it is not available commercially. You can buy the game, although you can download the game on itch.io, and then you can pay whatever you want, and you can also pay €0 if you want to. That's totally fine by us, but definitely consider donating. So I did a couple of unboxings on the channel, and I figured, like, you know what, I am going to do it on this one. So let's first check out all the details. Actually, again, you can download this box art and you can put it together yourself if you want to. One of the details here is the original 64-bit game pack, and then we got the little seal of approval right there, and more logos right there, and obviously 64 bits boy. And then the back of the box. It is actually folded. You can print it and fold it yourself. It needs to be pretty sturdy paper though, so I would suggest cardboard. Do you have what it takes to win the Squid Game? You wake up in a strange dorm surrounded by 455 other desperate contestants. The prize, a life-changing fortune. Yes, it's a couple of $1 million, I believe, converted to dollars. The cost, losing means game over for real. That is true if you play hard mode. Survive a series of twisted childhood games. Only one can win in season 1 anyway, and then in season 2 they changed it up a little bit, but you gotta watch it for yourself. And then we put some blurry screenshots in there, and yes, they are blurry on purpose, because if you would look at the boxes of original Game Boy games, then you would always see these being really blown up and blurry and stuff like that. So it's not that weird. But let's open it up, because there's actually a game inside. It says made with GB Studio. Ta-da-da-da-da. So there is an actual game inside in our version anyway. Let's focus on that real quick. There we go. So it says the 64-bit game pack again. This sat out, and this is actually a real Game Boy game. Although, like I said, you can download it and you can play it on an actual Game Boy, but this is actually a donated cartridge. I bought these at Comic-Con for like this is a Game Boy Color game actually, and it's about I bought it for like €4, and I think it may be like Elmo's ABC Adventure or something like that. So if you pop it in a Game Boy, this will not be an actual this will not be the Squid Game. But you, again, like I said, you can download it and put it on a cartridge yourself if you're handy enough, and I would definitely try to. All right, so let's put that. Oh, well, doesn't matter. And then let's actually open it up, because there's more inside. Yes, there's an actual instruction booklet. There we go, and it's fully illustrated. The artist who did this was T Studio, and I put a link in the description as well, so you can check him out if you want to. And then, if you check out the pages, this is all based on the layout of like the original Super Mario Land 1 and 2. I'm not sure which we took most inspiration from. I think 2, and a little bit of Wario Land as well. But yes, you can print this yourself. Look, it says right there, manual artwork by T Studio. So I did the layout, obviously, but the artwork, that's all him. And you may think, well, that's a little bit of weird artwork for what it is, Squid Game, right? If you look at the Mario Land 2 and maybe like Kid Icarus on the Game Boy, if you look at that artwork, we kind of looked at like those types of artwork, and we wanted to mimic something like that. And like I said, the manual is fully printable. You can just download it as a PDF if you want, but you can also print it if you want. And then it says, like, this game is unofficially approved by 64-Bits Retro Authority, built for the original Game Boy hardware with love, pixels, and absolutely no legal clearance from any major TV network. Well, not yet anyway. Maybe we want to try and make this a real product. We don't know. Small, slim chance, but maybe we will. And then you can actually buy it for real. And let's see. We got all the stuff here. Like I said, it's really based on original instruction manuals. All the characters are a little bit chibi-fied because a lot of games back in the day did that as well. You can get those really rough and tough like Terminator or RoboCop guy, and then you look at the instruction manual and it's just this derpy cute guy, just to sell a little bit better or something. Make it a little bit more kid-friendly. And we put the old man, the number 1. Welcome, my friend. I see that you are ready to play the Squid Games. I wish you the best of luck. You've been invited to take part in a series of mysterious children's games with life-changing reward on the line. And like I said, I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm going to go through it a little bit so you can. I would definitely check it out yourself if I were you. We put like a little Game Boy with all the controls in there. And then put some nice artwork there as well. And you can see, it's going to be blurry, but the Game Boy did often put in screenshots of a fair one. It's a little unfocused. There we go. I think, something like that. Focus, something like that. And then some very blurry screenshots in there, which was the style of the time. And then there's more. There's the simple cookie, a deadly challenge. Carve out the shape without cracking the sugar. And this was a really, really interesting one to actually make it work in the Game Boy Studio. This is really hard to get it right, but in the end, I think we made something that worked. And it actually says right here, some players whisper about a trick to make the cookie easier. Something about a strange button combo. And a wet strategy. You gotta like it. If you've seen the show, you know in the minigame you can't really do it, but there is a trick to do it, and it actually says so at the end. I'll get back to that. One more, I really like this art where he's jumping from the beds. Doing that here as well. All the beds are piled up. And then we got the tug of war. Again, very, very blurry screenshot. It actually explains it a little bit better than the game does, than it does in game. So in the first phase, you gotta smash B. And then wait for the meter to fill in the second phase. Some people are doing that wrong, but that's totally fine. We got the marbles. I think the artwork again is really cute. Be the first to collect all 20 marbles. If you want a tip from me, always bet 5 marbles, and then you can finish this game in like 2 tries if you're lucky. If not, it will take a little bit longer. But always bet 5. Then we got the glass stepping stone one thingy. Very cool. Some glass breaks, some doesn't. That's not comforting. And you can even see a little screenshot from there. Obviously, we didn't do 2 paints on left and right. We actually made 1 bridge, and only the paints that break are the ones that other players are already standing on. So you're safe, and the challenge is to actually just go through it without falling off. And that's kind of hard, but And then the final game. That's it. The final game. 1 opponent stands in your way, defeats Sanbu in mid-fight. A little bit of a spoiler, I guess, but the game does warn for that. You can simply defeat him by jumping on him. And then there's actually 2 endings, and then there's a hard mode ending. It doesn't actually say that, but in the notes and cheats, there's actually the cheat for the easy cookie win. That's hold A, B, and then select. And then if you hold those buttons in game, you can try it out yourself. Again, the game is fully playable and fully downloadable, and even the artwork and even the box art are fully downloadable. So definitely go give it a shot. And then you get an extra minigame, and you skip the original minigame if that's too hard for you. Even if you think the original minigame is easy, you should definitely still just try it just to get a little different cutscene and stuff like that. And then on minigame select, press 6 times to the left and 4 times to the right, and then you can continue the story from that game if you ever want to skip a minigame, but see the whole story. And yes, the hard mode does have a secret ending that spoils a lot for this first season. So only check that part out if you actually seen the show, or at least season 1. And no spoilers for season 2 or 3. And then there's patreon.com/64bits. And a little background for the back. This is an unofficial product made out of love for the original work, not affiliated or endorsed by the original creators. And that's true. And there we have it. So we got everything here. Okay, I'll put the book now. There we go. And I put the game back. If you have a donation cartridge, you can actually print it out yourself and then put it on there, and that works too. We went for the black cartridges, obviously. It fits Squid Game a lot better. And that's it. Definitely go check it out. Go play it. It is free. or donate what you want. Definitely consider donating if you want to help us grow the channel and stuff like that and make more projects like this. We all do this out of love, but your support means a lot to us. So thank you so much, and see you guys later.